Welcome to the Journal Star Sportswriters podcast with the Rivermen. My co-host, head coach Jean-Guy Trudel.
Dave.
Captain Alec Hagaman on hand today. Hello, boys. Well, it's been a while. Right before Christmas, we did a special podcast from your Christmas party. Mm-hmm. And now a little bit has happened since then. You've lost Reichert, Jacob Reichert, to a call-up, and Jake Hamilton got his first ECHL call-up. How are those guys doing?
Reich's played last game. I think he had a point and played pretty well, and he's been in and out of lineup there in Norfolk. And then Hammy played the first 3 games. They had a 3-game weekend. He played all 3, and then after that, this past weekend, he didn't play any. So I'm not sure. My rule of thumb is always I don't like to call my players while they're up. I told you that before. Right. I ask them to be, when they're here, 100% in, when they're there, 100% in with their team. But usually after, if Hammy would sit another weekend, I just reach out to, he's with Jason Christie there in Jacksonville, and I just reach out to Jason and see what's his plan for him to kind of have a little bit of a timetable for myself and see what I have to do to make sure get the team ready for weekends. So we'll see, but I'm happy. He deserves it. I mean, long time coming, but we're all happy for Hammy to get it. And then Reich's another call-up this year. He's, it's not his first, so he's used to the coast and being there. But for Hammy, it's always exciting. Your first, ECHL game, and he's got it under his belt now.
Got his first fight too, second game over there.
Yeah, he got it against actually a pretty big guy, pretty tough guy. But we know Hammy. He's not going to back down, and he kind of likes that stuff. So for him, I always say when you're called up, when you don't get as many shifts or whatever, you have to do whatever it takes to kind of show that you're willing and doing whatever it takes to win a hockey game. And Hammy's going to do that every single day.
Hags, you've played at that level and certainly could if you wanted to now again. But what would you tell guys on this team as they're working toward that goal and haven't been there yet? What would you do to help prepare them for it?
I would just say, just learn the pro habits, train hard, learn, pay attention and practice, learn. Don't just think that that you already know it, because there's tons you can learn every single day, and just take every stride. And when you do get that chance, just go out there and give it your all. And kind of like what he said about Hammy, don't be scared, don't be intimidated, just go out there and play your game. And I mean, good things happen when you do that. So you just got to kind of leave it in your hands and see what happens.
Did your time in the ECHL make you better as a player?
Maybe.
Not all call-ups are equal. I mean,
mine was a little different, because when the team I got called to, they were kind of already out of playoffs, so it was more just kind of guys looking for points and just playing. But at the same time, I think it did, because it kind of made, like, playing against really good teams, it was like, wow, the coast is a jump up. No matter what anybody says, it's definitely a little bit better hockey, but it's not. Mm-hmm. I'd say that it's more of the top 2 lines. So when you get a chance to play against players on those top 2 lines who are on the NHL contracts and AHL contracts, it's crazy. They move the puck quick, and things move a little bit quicker. So that's the biggest thing, I think, is just kind of being more aware of your surroundings, and the speed just has to pick up a little bit.
Coach, I think the last couple times we were in here, among the things we discussed was what you needed to do to improve the team, and bringing in a defenseman was one of them, and you got a pretty good one yesterday. Yeah,
I think it was, everybody, when we saw he got released, I think as a team, Hags and a lot of players that played with Rums, we love the kid. He's a great kid, good player. So we wanted him back. So I reached out to him, and then I spoke to Scrobes that night, and he already said, yeah, I reached out to him too. So I think it was kind of a team effort that everybody wanted Rums back. Not like I said, not only is he a great player at this level, I also think he's a great human being. So he comes in and he knows the boys. He knows at least 5 or 6 guys that are on the team in the past. So for him, he's kind of comfortable coming back to Peoria. And for us, we're lucky enough to get a great defenseman and a guy that wants to be here and win with this hockey team. And I remember the year we went to the finals, the playoffs, I think he had 5 points in 7 games. He was a +7. So for us, we're getting a guy that doesn't get intimidated by situation. He just comes in, he plays his game, he likes to move the puck. So we know what we're getting, and you're right, we needed that. And when, I know Hammy also, when he left and got called up, like he was like, Coach, I want to, for sure, no matter what, I'm coming back to play, and I want to make a run run at it. So when Hammy comes back, now all of a sudden you're looking at a D core that
who's going to play with who?
Well, right now we have a little bumps and bruises depending on what we do with a few situation that's coming up here. We're not sure, but there's a chance we put a D on the IR that has been banged up for a little while here. So it's just always about timetables for us. It's when is it the right time to do different things to make sure everybody gets the right amount of rest or what they need. And we're lucky enough right now. We built a 19-3-3 record. So even if we lose a few games because we give rest or we do what we have to do, we're still in a good position. Right now we're about 4 or 5 wins away of making the playoffs. So I think we're gonna get that. And then for us right now, it's about making sure we manage the people the right way to when the playoffs start. Not only are we rested, but we're in perfect condition to make sure we make a run at it.
It's really impressive to be at 19-3-3 and still sitting up there in first place, given you've lost 6, 7, 8 guys to Europe and to ECHL call-ups. I mean, a lot of teams around the league probably thought Peoria would come down a couple of spots after that, but it hasn't happened.
I think it comes down to Hags and those guys. We have a certain way we do things. I think detail wise and everything else. I think we're a pretty detailed team, but I always say no matter how many details you put in there as a coach, if you don't have the soldiers and the leadership to want to do those details every day and to really believe in those details, you're still going nowhere. And I'm lucky. I said it for years. I have guys like Scrobes, Hags, Neville, now Carvalho, D are back, and Levine, and all those guys really believe in one thing, is doing everything right every single day for us to have a chance to win, and that's what they just keep on doing. No matter who comes in or out, I don't even have to say anything anymore in the locker room. I always say my first month and a half is where I work a lot to make sure we build a foundation of a certain way we want to do things in every area, and then these guys take over the locker room. So whoever comes in, they know we do things a certain way. We do things professional. We do details every day, and we prepare. I think as a group, we prepare pretty well for the team that we're playing. So we know everything they do well, what they don't do so well, and we believe in each other. Like I'm the biggest believer in Hags and my players. I know when the big game comes, they love the challenge, they love to do it, and so it's been a fun year that way. No matter who we lose, or for us, it's just next man up. He's gone, and I learned that from I think I watched something on Babcock about 3-4 years ago, and they were talking Detroit. They had all these injuries at the time, and Datsuk and Zetterberg. And he's like, yeah, they're not on my team anymore, so we don't worry about them. They're not part of Rivermen. So whatever what we have. Yeah. At that weekend, whoever we play, we have to win with that group. So we prepared that group to win that hockey game, and it comes down to our locker room and these guys right here that just make sure that they buy into what we do.
Big goal at Quad City the other night. 43 seconds left in the game, Hags. You enjoyed that, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun. I mean, especially against them. I mean, it's getting to be a pretty good rivalry, especially with the fans and everything. So. Yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't say I didn't enjoy that one a lot. But yeah, it was just really good play by Dion. He's been working really hard the last few weeks and becoming the player that we all knew he was from when we got him at the beginning of summer. And he just threw the puck on the net, and my stick was there. And I don't know if he was shooting at my stick, but it hit it and it went in. So
I don't think it looked on the tape like you didn't know at first.
No, not a clue. Not a clue. I hit it, and I just kind of looked back around, and I didn't see a puck anywhere. And then I saw Dion raise his arms up, so I knew right when I saw that, I was like, "Yep,
that's fantastic." Well, you certainly have had the magic with the puck. 8-game goal scoring streak now is the longest active goal scoring streak in minor league hockey anywhere. I didn't check the NHL. I don't know what anybody might have going up there, but that would be a pretty long streak.
Yeah, they don't have anybody right now.
I mean, there's NHL probably no way. So it might be the longest streak right now in pro hockey, and so you've taken off, and we seem to see this every year from him.
Yeah, well, for us Hags, I always say, Hags comes to camp. The worst part is he comes to camp and he's always the guy in the best shape of our team. And for some reason, though, when it comes to games, it always takes Hags, I always say, from 5 to 10 games to get his feet wet and get going again. And, Hags plays a certain way. And I think when he starts that physicality and we call, the Hags little things that he does on the ice, that's when I think the offense have come, because he's always involved in every play. And I also think Hags is playing really well lately because everybody that's a great player is a target. You know me. Like, nothing changes in hockey. I'm sure Hagaman's name is on every board when we start a game against us, and you have to be physical on him and this and that. He's not going to back down, but you're still physical, make him lose his mind. And I think lately Hag has been, I think he's just been focused on, he wants to be physical and play that type of game, but he doesn't get anything bothering him. He just keeps playing and keeps playing. And I always say hockey, like, it took us, 59 minutes and 30 seconds to get that last goal, but I truly believe we played a great game because, we were disciplined. We just kept with the system. Sometimes it takes 59 minutes. You got to do what you got to do. So I was pretty proud of the guys that just stuck with it, and then we finally got that big one. But Hags, he's one of my favorite of all time.
It's just interesting to watch him grow as a player. I know you're 46 years old now or something.
Feels like it.
Hags, in the last calendar year, you've gotten married.
Yeah, married, and then
got a baby. A little bit earlier
down the
than
road,
that. Got a baby, and so you're settled into a wonderful family life and playing pro hockey at home. Have you had a chance to step back internally and just think about where you are?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, before every single game during the national anthem, when I look up there, that's all I think my whole family every single time. And I know my dad and my grandpa who passed away are watching over me, and I thank them for giving me just the opportunity to play this game. And I know that they gave me kind of that edge, I think, that physical, mental edge where I just don't stop, because when I did stop when I was younger, I heard about it. So I think it just kind of grew on me. And I always thank my wife and my kid for being there and just making me want to be the best person that I can be and carry our name on.
You need to give them a shout out, because they're going to see
absolutely.
this.
Emily, Adley, love you guys.
That's beautiful. Growing up, and you're in the local hockey scene here, who were the biggest and best influences on you? You mentioned your family. Was that it, or was there somebody else? There's
tons from just watching, like the Logan Biddles, Jake Hansons, Joey Olsons, even like the Fur Harris. There's tons of guys, great players that I actually got to watch that moved on to really high junior ranks in Division I college. So it was really, I learned a lot from them by just watching them and wanting to be like them. And then also there's tons of coaches too that I could think. I had obviously Guy's one of them. He's been there probably since my junior days, so I've learned a lot from him. Kevin Loon, Steve Ortman, he's a great guy. He's always been there when I was there. Hammer was a great coach. I had Dennis Sear for a year. I've had so many coaches. When I played for the Mustangs, I had 3 different coaches. I had Kevin Loon, Dennis Sear, and then Bob Fleming.
Bob the Hammer Fleming.
Yep. So I guess I learned a lot of different ways to play hockey from all of them, because they're all kind of similar.
Summarizes his game. You've got elements of all that in the way you play, don't you?
Yeah, I like to think so. I don't think I'm like a one-dimensional player.
No.
Try to do it all. So, yeah, I think they all kind of influence themselves of what they expect and kind of what a real good hockey player should be like. And I could think probably I just took little pieces of each one, and then I finally ended up with Guy, and I think he kind of brought all of it together and taught me actually how to play hockey.
You're sitting here on this 8-gamer now, which is a remarkable streak in pro hockey to be on. Does it feel like anything's different to you?
Honestly, no. Our team's a good team, so we just work hard, and like we always talk about, when you work hard, good things happen, and right now good things are happening for me. But at the same time, I can't do it without the Alec Bear, the Dions, the Carvalhos. All the other guys, they play a huge part in it too. So it's not just me out there; it's all of us. And right now, it seems to be going in for me, so I'll take it. Well,
it evens up for earlier in the year. I think that first month of the season, you probably hit 13 posts.
Yeah, see, they're just when things fall, they fall. So
yeah,
that's kind of what's happening right now, and I'm enjoying it, but I don't focus on it too much at all. Just kind of on to the next game and just work hard, because we got a group right now that we're really dedicated to just playing 60 minutes. We don't care about stats. We don't care about anything. We just care about playing 60 minutes all out, and that's what we're focusing on.
When you lose a bunch of guys from the top end of your roster, that depth really everybody's got to pull on the rope in the same direction.
Yeah, and you change a few things. So
Yeah, you had mentioned that you've.
Yeah, we changed a few things. Plus, on the power play, again, it's always time management. How much minutes can I give on the power play to this group or that group because we don't have the depth we used to? And what do I? So it's a little bit more, as a coach, I think it's more fun because now you're trying to think about absolutely everything. And sometimes it's protecting a player because maybe it's not that he's not a good player, but maybe he didn't have the reps yet to be, where he needs to be and things like that. So as a coach, you know, those guys are gone. We have the team we have now, and how can we make this team the best team possible with the depth and the people we have now? And I still think we have a great hockey team. And I'm a really big believer in, if you believe and do the right things for 60 minutes, you're going to win a lot of the games because we have great goaltending. And now we added a rumble, so I think our D-core is pretty darn solid, even if we're missing Hammy. And forward group, we're missing a little bit of depth, but we still have good enough forwards. And if we put the right guys in the right situation at the right time in the games, we're still going to be fine to win a lot of hockey games.
Boy, it's going to be an interesting week. You know, as we go into this weekend, you've got a Thursday night game, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, all against Pensacola, and so here they come. That's a big rivalry, and always two of the top teams in the league. So you guys kind of measure each other in these games. And what are your thoughts going into this series?
Well, we talked about Quad City weekend, and unfortunately the game got canceled on Saturday, but we wanted that as get back on track because we lost our last two games in Quad City. So we wanted to get back on track in Quad, which we did. And then Pensacola, we talked about it as making it like a playoff series. And we know both teams are missing a few players here and there, but just kind of seeing where we're at. And I always say, it seems like it doesn't matter what coach is in Pensacola. I laugh because on our game notes, we have our record against everybody in the league. And I'm always amazed at our record against everybody. Like what these guys are doing is phenomenal. Yeah. And then I see Pensacola 11-15 and whatever our record is. Yep. And it, and Rod is a great coach, but it really doesn't matter who the coach is there. It seems like we struggle against every single coach in Pensacola. So for us, it's always a great measuring stick to see where we're at, and we're going to take it serious. We want to come out Thursday. We know it's a Thursday night game, but hopefully a lot of Peoria people are going to come and watch us play, and we're going to come out Thursday. And we also understand the stats in the playoffs. If you win the first game, 75% of those teams win that series. So we're going to try to attack that first game with passion and do the right things to make sure we get that first win underneath our belt. And we know against Pensacola, it seems like every single game is a one-goal game somehow. So, and we understand now also with what we have, and they're very disciplined this year. I think they average almost a 0 PK. The last 4 games, it's like they're only on the PK once or twice every game. So for us, we know 5-on-5 is going to be key in what they do. So it's going to be a good challenge because Rod is a great coach and they always have a great team. So it's going to be fun for us. 11-15-5
all time against Pensacola. Yep. And 7-6-2 in Peoria.
Yep.
And 11 of those games have gone beyond regulation. So as you mentioned, they're often nail biters. What's the take from the players' viewpoint about Pensacola and playing those guys?
Oh, we hate them. They hate us. It's a battle, and it's playoff atmosphere, like we said, and it's fun. It kind of brings out that competitive spirit. Like when you're ready for playoffs, your mindset changes a little bit, and I think it's I'm sure it's like that for them too. It changes a little bit. There's a little bit more hatred, a little bit more aggressiveness. It's just all around. It's a lot of fun, and it's a battle.
They've lost both their goaltenders this week.
Yeah,
both have moved up, and former Rivermen goaltender Steve Klein has popped up there. He was released, waived by Birmingham a couple days ago, and has signed now with Pensacola. So you're going to see him, and you're going to counter with Eric Levine.
Yeah, on the first game, Eric's going to be in net, and then after that, decision-wise, it always depends on wins, losses, and what we have to do. And I'd love to give the kid Rylan his first start. We're supposed to be in Quad City that Saturday night, but hopefully he can get his first start this week. But Eric's going to have the first game, and for us, we saw Kleiner in Birmingham, and I still think he's a good goalie. But no matter what goalie, if a goalie can't see it, you can't stop it. So for us, it's about the same thing. We like to go to net. We like
Creating
to be in front.
traffic
We like to create traffic, and we like to take away his eyes as much as we can. So it's going to be the same type of thing. Where but they play a very tight defense. They play, and that's why I think us and them are tied right now defensively in the league. They play very tight. They play man on man. So for us, it's about finding ways to create your own space, and hopefully we can do that this weekend. But again, it always starts with us, with our feet. If we can move our feet and do our rotations right, we'll be okay. And I'm excited. It's going to be fun. It's going to be it's a little bit more of a chess match against Rod. He likes to change things on the fly, and it's fun for a coach to actually to have fun with those kind of things during a game.
What are the nature of his teams in general? When certain coaches with certain teams, what kind of posture that team is going to have. What is Rod's team usually?
Well, Rod is usually he's going to get it's Pensacola, so everybody wants to play there. So you're going to get a lot of talent, but Rod's a little bit like us. He likes talent that works hard. He likes forwards that can skate, and he likes. Usually his D is a pretty big D core that gaps up really well, and they're in your face the whole game. So he's a little bit like us. Pensacola's never going to beat themselves. They're not going to make those mistakes that other teams make. They're a little bit like us that way. We don't like to beat ourselves, make those mistakes, and they're tight. They're really tight on you all the time. So you have to win a battle, or you have to do different types of rotation against that man on man. Even in neutral zone, they back check real hard. So he's a little bit like us. He likes talented players. But those talented players have to have a work ethic and play in all three zones, and that's what they have there in Pensacola.
Well, it'll be a good measuring tool for both teams. I think this will be an interesting weekend for sure, and a lot of stuff going on with the team. I think there's a Magic or Wizards night or something going on.
Magic or Wizard or Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Is it Harry Potter?
I think so.
Yeah.
Harry Potter night.
So.
Yeah. I mean, just a lot, and we'll detail that in the paper on Thursday morning. But it'll be if you haven't seen the team play yet, I think these 3 games you're going to see 2 of the top teams in the league. And going at it, it's going to be worth being there.
I think so. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's I remember last year a 3-game battle there. It was tough. A lot of our guys couldn't walk for a few days after that, and
that was a breakthrough last year for.
It was. We finally won a series. I know, winning in Pensacola, so it was kind of nice. And but you expect it seems like they get up for us and we get up for them.
Sure,
so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up, guys. I thank my co-host.
Thanks,
Jean-Guy Trudel.
Thanks for having me again, Dave.
Yes, and Captain Alec Hagaman.
Thank you.
And our all-pro engineer, Matt Dayhoff.
Phenomenal.
He is the best. I'm Dave Eminian. This has been the Journal Star Sportswriters podcast with the Rivermen. We'll talk to you next week.